Hi everyone, my name is Sam. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, I make videos about lifestyle, my college experience, and anything that's been getting on my nerves for the past week. So if you're into that, hit that subscribe button down below. So yeah, I'm a little unprofessional today. I usually wrap my head in a skull cap. I use this one, and I woke up with that on the floor, so my hair is a mess today. So you're just gonna have to deal with how I look for now. Okay, so as the title says, college is a scam, and there are too many reasons, and I'm just gonna go over them. The first point is college tuition is way too much. So college tuition has rose about 25-28% since 2008. I'll put all my sources down below in the description if y'all want to go check that out. It's a lot compared to how salaries and wages are today. If you look at a chart, salaries are rising, but we count in inflation, it has barely budged. You see this trend everywhere in the economy, how prices are rising, but wages and salaries are just not meeting up to those high prices. And you can also see that with the minimum wage. That hasn't changed in like a decade, I think. And it's only like $7.25. So going back to college, yes, tuition is very expensive. Also with all the hidden fees that comes with it, like even though you pay your tuition, you have to pay more for certain courses, you have mandatory student fees, and possibly even other fees if you don't turn stuff in on time, which is very weird. Also, books are extremely expensive. You can drop $1,000 in one semester and never open the books up again in your life. And in most cases, you barely use the books. So before you buy any books, go online and search for the PDFs. And also paying for parking. I'm spending $50,000 a year. You still expect me to pay for parking? And also, with my school, they're so strict about it. Like, you could leave your car for like 1 second and it'll already get a ticket. Also, I have all my points written down on my iPad, so if you see me looking down, that's why. The second point is the stigma of community college. So a good amount of people believe that community colleges aren't that good compared to 4 years. And that's completely false. So I kind of fell into this mindset when I was choosing which school to go to, and I wish I could change that because my school is very expensive and you save a lot of money going to community college. Also, it depends on which college you go to. They're basically the same academic wise. I know in the area where I go to college, a lot of people transfer from those community colleges into George Mason. If you just can't afford to go to a 4-year, your best bet is just go to a community college that's good for you and transfer back into a 4-year. I heard that's really good because you have a better chance of getting accepted into the school that you actually wanted to go to. So yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, so my third point is about student loans. Student loan providers are very predatory. A lot of the providers have very high interest rates, so you end up having to pay a lot more than what you took out. Or say for example, I took out $20,000, I could end up paying twice that in 20 years. This also goes into how wages and salaries aren't rising, because on average, a lot of people spend 20 years just to pay them all. Okay, also I heard that Biden was trying to forgive student loans, and in my opinion, you shouldn't count on that because only 100,000 people are eligible right now. There's like 42 million people who have student loans right now. So yeah, don't count on that in the future. My fourth point is useless courses. Like, I don't really know how to feel about gen ed courses because I personally feel like everyone needs to learn some history. I think psychology courses is good and everyone needs to be able to write a paper, but is it really worth it to take up a year and a half just for general courses? Like, if I didn't have to take gen ed, I could be done with my major in like 3 or 2 years. And it also depends on what you do, what you want to do in the future. Okay, my fifth point, some majors are useless. I'm not gonna name any majors because I don't want to sound mean. I'm talking about like getting a good salary. Some majors are not that good, and depending on which college you go to, some programs are just not worth it to take. So I also hate the phrase, it goes something like, if you love your job, you don't have to work a day in your life, and I find it extremely misleading. So in my opinion, I can't really just sit down and do one thing for a long time. That's just how I am. Like, doing the same job for years sounds very draining, and I'm just gonna leave it off with that. Okay, fourth point is that job security is a myth. Case in point, the pandemic happened. A lot of people lost their jobs. So I feel like everyone should just keep in mind that a lot of things can change just a year when choosing what you want to do for your career. There's a lot of bad stuff that comes with college. There are some good points into attending colleges, so I'm just gonna talk about them really quick. First is that you have a lot of opportunities at your disposal. This heavily depends on where the college is located and how well known the college is. When I go to college, it's like 30 minutes away from DC, so you have a lot of access to federal jobs and soon to be Amazon, which is coming in Crystal City. And a lot of people from those companies actually go to each college and try to recruit some people. And most colleges I know host some kind of career fair every year. So when attending a college, you have a lot of access to opportunities and different careers you want to go into. So second point is meeting new people. This obviously depends where you go, but you got clubs or organizations and even people in your dorm you can meet. There's a lot of chances you have to meet with new people in college. And my final point is the college experience. And yes, again, this depends on where you go to. So in my case, a lot of people commute to my school, so it's kind of dry certain times in the week, but me and my friends still find a way to make it entertaining. So what to take from this video, if you still want to go to a 4-year college, I'm not saying it's completely bad, but you need to be smart on what you wanting to get out of it. So if you just want to stay focused on your classes, you can save a lot of money by just going to a community college and transferring back. So if you want to go to a 4-year for that whole college experience, be smart on how you want to pay for it. Sign up for FAFSA, sign up for as many scholarships as you can, and also be smart on how you take out loans. Like, make sure you have a plan on how you're gonna pay them off in the long run. Make sure you check out the interest rates on them and don't take out too much. Also, try to stay in state because that's way cheaper. I'm technically an out-of-state student. Also, if you live in DC, you get the DC tag for free if you sign up for it. It's like $10,000 or the difference between the in-state and out-of-state tuition. So my final point is that make sure you know what you want to get out of college and make sure you have a way to pay all that stuff out, whether it be grants or scholarships or taking a part-time job and all of that. And that's it for this video. I upload every Saturday at 10 a.m. for the summer, so subscribe to stay tuned. Also, like this video if you like what you saw. It helps out the channel very much. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.